again, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another episode of EETV, where we strive to bring you everything in entertainment. Young Justice has wrapped up its 4th season, episode 26, entitled Death and Rebirth. Let's begin. Let's not waste any time. It's funny how they entitled this episode Death and Rebirth, because there was a lot of showing of Death and Rebirth. The episode opens up with a close-up of Connor Kent, and you see half of his face been burnt and half his face has been untouched. That just reminds me of symbolism of how he is in his Cadmus persona now, but his Connor Kent side is struggling to get out. So I like how they showed the symbolism literally right on Superboy's face on what he's going through. General Zod has a bone to pick with the House of Vel, and I found it very fitting that he mentioned that Jor-El could have sent Kal-El to New Genesis, but he did not do so because he did not want Kal-El to be an orphan on New Genesis. So he sent him to Earth instead, where he could be a god among men. So I found that interesting, and how they threw that in there. General Zod is definitely throwing some smoke. Afterwards, we predicted that Nightwing and Rocket are still alive, but my predictions were wrong. My prediction was half right, that both of them were still alive, but I was wrong in the reason and how they were alive. I was wrong because Nightwing used an old pro wrestling move in K-pop known as cutting to show if a wrestler received really bad injury. And I like that even Nightwing even mentioned it, that he used an old pro wrestling trick when he was talking with Miss Martian, when he brought up the speed of what was going on. One of the first showings of Death and Rebirth was Nightwing believing the team had been hurt and or killed, but Megan had to lower the glamour and show him that that was just basically mental camouflage that they put up there to fool the Zods, believing they were dead so they would not harm them further. Next thing that was really good, the school bus. We mentioned that before. We thought that Zatanna was just going to use a transportation spell to send her Aqualad and Tigress there. And it's funny, she didn't use it. She used the transportation spell, but she also used public transportation in the transportation spell by having the school bus fly them into battle. So the school bus got to see in battle one more time. Brought a smile to my face. The Kryptonian that I mentioned that I thought that would possibly be taking Supergirl's place, and because they mentioned her, I think they're going to show her in season 5 when they bring the, because they also mentioned at the wedding they were going to partner Kryptonians. We're not even going to get a chance to see them, because just like I also mentioned that we had to be careful because Darkseid and Vandal Savage was up to something, and we found out what they were up to. We found out Darkseid wants to fight fire with fire. Earth has, I know Connor Kent is a half Kryptonian, but basically 2 Kryptonians on there. So you can see that Darkseid wants to fight fire with fire, and he has charged Vandal Savage with getting 1 Kryptonian, but Vandal Savage has gotten all the Kryptonians out of the Phantom Zone. But he did spare 1 Kryptonian, as you can see in this clip that I'll play here.
2 newest recruits. The first, Black Mary, was stripped of her birthright by her brother, her mentor, and all her peers. As for the second, she is a Kryptonian, captured by the light and turned over to Apocalypse as tribute. This is Kara Zor-El,
aka Supergirl, aka Power Girl, is a Fury along with Black Mary. Remember last time we saw Black Mary was in the middle of the season, because she had to stop being Zatanna's student because they didn't like her using her Shazam powers because she was addicted to the power. Her feeling betrayed has decided to go with her Shazam side and adopted the name Black Mary, and now she is joined by the Supergirl And the one you see on the left is Big Barda, and that is going to be a heavy hitter invasion team right there. That's super strength and invulnerability out the wazoo. Those young ladies are going to be cleaning our heroes' clocks in season 5. There's going to be a lot of beatdowns to be held by the team. McGann's able to bring Connor back, so we'll continue with our next point. The battle ensues. I think his name is Danny, the guy who has his brain trapped in the box. This opens up the boom tube back to the Phantom Zone, sent all the bad guys there. But once again, like I said before, it didn't even matter because Vandal Savage took World War and took all the Kryptonians out of there anyway. What I found fitting and what I didn't predict and I found very interesting was how they got rid of Lord Zod. Rocket makes a return by returning back to the battle in a fixed time spear by Metron. Lord Zod gets into that fixed time spear and believes that he can use it to go back and basically push reset and start this whole season over again and get his way. But it does not go his way. As soon as he arrives, the time sphere disappears. He loses time, loses focus, and he is destroyed by the kryptonite bomb on Mars. And that was his shadow that we saw at the beginning of the season, not Connor's. So I found that kind of fitting. But once again, that's the second reason why they show death and rebirth, because we, knowing that Lord Zod is dead, but Ursa is carrying him, his mother, who is the Emerald Empress now, is carrying him when she leaves and is taken off world by the Emerald Eye and arrives on Daxam in September 16th. Another shown of death and rebirth. And then Connor is the third reason of death and rebirth, because everybody thought he was dead and now he's alive. And the fourth reason they showed death and rebirth is because everybody, Miss Martian, McGann, thought her relationship and love was dead because Connor wasn't there, but their love is rekindled in rebirth with them showing that Connor is alive and she had brought him back. Multiple examples of death and rebirth. I like how Black Canary mentioned that the heroes needed a sanctuary to recover from PTSD, so they'll be showing that in season 5. Like I said, the plan that Aquaman made about getting the Kryptonians doesn't even count because Vandal Savage all snatched them all from the Phantom Zone. You don't mess with Metron. Lord Zod learned that the hard way. I also like the little cute things they put in there. Icicle Jr. was at the wedding, shedding a tear. The Icicle Jr. also caught the bouquet that was thrown. And also on top of that, if you paid attention during the credit season before the credits were rolling before they showed the reveal that Supergirl and Black Mary have joined Darkseid, the Gremlin was running around with the bouquet that Icicle Jr. kept and was passing all the dogs. So I found that a little bit interesting as well. One more note that I wanted to make. The world that Emerald Empress went to, Daxam, is the same world that Chameleon Boy is from in the 31st century. So that's possibly why he mentioned that and threw that in there. So you can see Emerald Empress is going to tear some things up here and puts his world into disarray. Also, another world that you have to pay attention to for season 5, the world known as Durla on September 16th, where Shin, where they're going to be at, the White Martians, because of him completing his mission that Darkseid provided them with their own world. So that's interesting too. So that we're going to see how that fits in for season 5. Also, one other thing that I wanted to mention before we close out this video, Vandal Savage turned over Kara Zor-El to Darkseid because of the tribute. He said he needed one Kryptonian. He kept the other Kryptonians for himself. You saw Lord Zod, you saw the big Kryptonian, and you saw Fiora, his lieutenant, all being kept in suspended animation. So I'm interested to see how he's going to swing this, whether he... Oh, remember the mind control from season 1. Because remember, it worked on Superman when they sent them off world and had them tear up that world and talk about we are the Justice League, and that's why everybody was scared of Earth. I think Vandal Savage is going to use that mind control and control all the Kryptonians so he has his own superpowered army. And maybe that's how he's going to go against Darkseid. I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to use the mind control from season 1 to control all the Kryptonians, so he has a high-powered super army. He have a bunch of Superman. But we all know it's not going to work because the villains don't win so much. But we all know how it's not going to work because their reaction times are much slower, and that's probably how they're going to defeat that superpower army. But it's going to be interesting to see Vandal Savage pull that off. I'm going to be making another video predicting what's going to happen in season 5. And just like you heard just before, first thing, I'm going to leak a little bit of it now. First thing, I think Vandal Savage is going to use the rest of the Kryptonians, just like I said, as a superpowered army. The next thing, I believe we're also going to get a bit of a time skip somewhere as well, because they're prominently showing the next generation, because they're mentioning Emerald Empress being pregnant with General Zod's son, Lord Zod. You saw that they got Jonathan Kent got some shine when he was the ring bearer, and he found out that Connor was still alive. So I don't think it's going to be that much of a time skip. I think it's going to be enough of a time skip where we can see Jonathan Kent's powers be manifested in some way, and we might even see Damian as well. They might throw Damian Wayne in there as well. And that's about it. Well, I do think, if not that, I think for this season, somewhere in the middle, that the Legionnaires will make another appearance again, because even though Brainiac, when he showed up, he said that there was 0.16% that wasn't accounted for from the time stream, so that could still throw things off. And that's why I think they're going to come back, because of that 0.6% not being off, and it's going to be affecting the 31st century. And then Superboy is also going to be finding out why he is so important in season 5 as well. And I dig in a new haircut that he had. He gave him the close cut. Well, that's all I have for this video. I'm going to make another video going in depth about season 5 predictions for Young Justice. I thank you for joining me for this Young Justice season 4 wrap up. In my opinion, it was okay. I think they could have made it a little bit better. Wasn't as good as season 3, in my opinion. But that's just me. Let's start a conversation in the comments section, and we can put our ideas together, and between all of us, we can figure out exactly what to do in season 5. So I thank you for tuning in for another episode of TV, where we strive to bring everything in entertainment. Have a good night, everybody.